Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we have something exciting to do. I was just going through my LinkedIn feed and I saw this post from Zabbix. It said that they have released Zabbix 7.0 alpha version. I was really excited to see this post and I wanted to try this out and see how it goes. So I went on to zabbix.com/download and I saw the 7.0 pre-release listed over here, and I'm really excited to set this up. So I do have a machine here, a test Linux machine, which is Oracle Linux 9, and it is an absolute fresh machine, and I've disabled firewall and SE Linux on it. So we'll go through the installation steps using the official documentation, which is on zabbix.com/download for Oracle Linux 9. So we are going to be installing these Zabbix components. We'll install the server, front end, and the agent, and we'll use the MySQL database. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to first copy the packages using this command. So this command basically creates your repository, your Zabbix repository in cd etc.repos.c. If you see the contents, you will see the zabbix.repo created here. I'll just clear the screen. And we are going to run dnf clean all, just the way it is mentioned on the documentation. And we are going to run this set of commands. So I'm going to install Zabbix Agent 2 instead of Zabbix Agent. So I just added a little 2 here, and I'm going to write -y in the end so it installs the packages related to our Zabbix. While this is happening in the background, let's see what the next steps are. So the next thing here, we would need to run these commands on the MySQL database. So before we run these commands, it says we need to make sure the database server is up and running. So we are going to install MySQL Server as it is mentioned over here. So once these packages get installed, we are going to install MySQL Server. All right, so the packages have been installed. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. And now we are going to install the database. So it's MySQL-server and it's -y. All right, let's clear the screen once again. And after installing the database, we need to start the database service using systemctl start MySQL server. And I think it's just MySQL D. All right, now we are just going to enable the database as well so that if our system reboots, the MySQL database comes up automatically. So after installing and starting the database, we need to set up the database. So we are going to run this set of commands, which is MySQL_secure_installation. So this is something what you do right after installing and starting your database. So I'm just going to enter a password for my root user for the database. So I'm just going to give a password which I can remember, so I can write it down here. I'm going to give the password as Zabbix at 12345. And I will paste it again using the right click. And yes, I want to remove the anonymous users, and yes, I'll do yes for all the next steps. So our database is up and running, and we have set up the initial steps of the database as well. Now we are going to log into the database using this particular command and enter the password which we created. And now just run the steps which are written on the official documentation. So we are just creating a database called Zabbix, and then we are creating the user on the database, and we are giving the password as password. I'm just going to keep everything as default. Now we are going to copy the database schema and add it in our Zabbix database using this particular command. It will ask us to enter the password, so we'll copy the password and enter the password. So the password was incorrect because the password which I chose was not this, but it was just password. So I'm just going to write it again. So it's just migrating all the tables from this particular file, which you can see, onto our database. This is just like a dump, SQL dump happening in the background. So once this process gets completed, we are going to run this thing again. Let me put it in my clipboard. All right, let's run this and copy the password for the root user. And let's run this. And quit. I'm going to clear my screen and see any other instructions if they are listed. All right, so now I just have to update the password here on my Zabbix _server.conf file. So I'm just going to do a vim. If you don't have vim, just do yum install vim and do search for db password. And just going to copy this. And the password is password itself because we did not change anything. As you can see in this, it's just password. And we are going to write and quit out of this file. And we are going to start our Zabbix services. Since we did not install Zabbix agent, it's showing that error, which is fine because we installed Zabbix agent 2. Just going to restart Zabbix agent 2 as well. Okay. Now let's run this so that when our server reboots, all these services are up by default. All right. So now it says we can log into the Zabbix using the IP. So let's go ahead and see the IP and copy the IP on the browser and do a /Zabbix in front of it and hit enter. Woohoo! So we have Zabbix 7.0 here. We are going to click next and everything is okay. All the prerequisites of PHP are fine. We'll go ahead and click next. So these are the defaults. We are going to use the password as password. And we are going to select next step. And I'm just call it my Zabbix 7. And I'll set in my time zone where I'm in Gurgaon right now. So I'm going to use Asia, Kolkata, 5:30. So there you are. And we are just going to keep clicking next until we get this message. So we click finish and now we enter the username as admin, wherein the A has to be in uppercase, and Zabbix as the password, all in lowercase, just like it was in the previous versions of Zabbix. Woohoo! So this is our new Zabbix 7.0 server, and the UI looks kind of similar to 6.0. They've taken out users from admin. Earlier users was inside administration. There's this thing called alerts. Okay, I think they have removed the configuration button this time. And instead of configuration, they have added a few more buttons like users and data collection. And let's see the templates. This looks nice. Let's see the system information. Okay, Zabbix server version 7.0. Let's see inventory. Let's see the services, monitoring. Let's see the problems page. Kind of similar to the previous version. Okay, and let's see the dashboards. Nice. Let's see any other dashboards if they are available by default. Nice. So this pretty much looks a decent. There's a lot of new stuff on the UI, which I can see. There were only 4 options in the previous Zabbix. Now they've added more options, but more or less the functionality, I guess, would remain the same. Let's see the kind of user roles we have. Okay. Let's see the user groups. Okay. So this is it. So how did you like the Zabbix 7.0? So although it's just a pre-release, I'm sure there should be more changes on it. And I'm guessing many more changes on this. So let me know how you like this and what more you expect from Zabbix before they finally release the official version for Zabbix 7.0. And I hope this was informative, and I would like to thank you for viewing.